Conceptual Selection, presented by David R. Wood. Conceptual Selection. Quote, consequently, as appears in the topics, we must first of all have by us a selection of arguments about questions that may arise and are suitable for us to handle. We may now be said to have in our hands the lines of argument for various special subjects that it is useful or necessary to handle, having selected propositions suitable in various cases. Aristotle, Rhetoric. Conceptual selection is the, quote, art which directs the production, quote, of the art. A breeder must first select the pattern, such as the foxhounds, which he wants to produce. But as the British writer Thomas Carlyle once stated, quote, thought is parent of the deed, end quote. The breeder first searches for components of the pattern he wants to produce. He then selects this pattern in his or her mind, which conceives a new pattern. Then the breeder mates the two natural organisms in hopes of naturally conceiving the previously intellectually conceived pattern. This process of conceptual selection is a sub-process of the process of artificial selection. To produce new art, Homo sapiens must first conduct the process of conceptual selection. By using our imagination, Homo sapiens can search for and select concepts. The concepts selected are then combined to form a new mental pattern. Once the process of conceptual selection is completed, a new idea, or pattern in nature, is conceived. This is why our ancestors selected the term conceive to describe this process. It is literally correct, as conceptual selection is a variation of the process of sexual selection. Sexual selection ultimately leads to the conception of a new organism. In its most basic sense, the process of conceptual selection is about pattern selection. The human mind functions like a womb by which to conceive new ideas. New ideas are often a variation of the underlying conceptual patterns found in nature. The concepts are selected from the artificial DNA information available to individuals or groups of Homo sapiens. Plato's reference to Homo sapiens' new ideas as their, quote, children is literally correct. The production of art based on new ideas is equivalent to giving birth as in natural reproduction. Once a new idea reaches a state of broad consensus among Homo sapiens, it is then considered a concept. This new concept is then added to the existing pool of artificial DNA information from which Homo sapiens select. Homo sapiens then use these concepts to conceive and then ultimately reproduce what Aristotle termed art, artificial adaptations. Concepts are an artificial variation of genes in natural evolution, as they both perform the same function in the process of producing adaptations, natural or artificial.